Federal policy legislation to develop domestic energy sources have been hampered by the concerns of the environmentalists. How would you address this issue, critical to the growth of our economy and future prosperity?
I think, for me, global warming is probably one of the biggest scams since Acorn. They've actually proven that it hasn't been warming, and then the ones who say it's warming, it's over 25 or 50 years. And the one thing you always know is that whatever happens, the weather changes, and temperatures go up and down. Now, this whole bit with the carbon trading and all of this, I think these markets are being created just so people can actually trade stocks and make money on air. It's so incredibly Twilight Zone again. I'll say that a lot because I have a bridge to sell you guys in Brooklyn if you guys want to also buy air and actually pay for it, because this is insanity what we're doing here. The whole cap and trade to me is another casino game that we just don't understand, but somebody's going to make lots and lots of money on it, and it's not going to be us. It's going to be guys who are sitting in some investment tower and making money on both sides of trades just so businesses are not putting carbon into the air, but other guys who are putting a lot of carbon are going to buy from other credits, and this is beyond me, guys. So, I think we have an ability here to actually cut through all the nonsense, get rid of this stuff, keep our earth clean. Pollution, yeah, we can't pollute. Try to have clean water, a clean environment, stop polluting. But this other stuff about global warming and all the rest of it, I think it's just another way to play us for being stupid.
Federal accounting mechanisms appear to be malleable according to the needs of the moment. Currently, the Obama administration seeks to obscure the true cost of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac mortgage houses by categorizing them as private entities, thereby keeping the price of their bailouts off the books. How would you address this fluctuating accounting rules which keep the cost of government hidden?
I think, again, these guys are the best casino guys in the game by being able to control what's going on with Freddie and Fannie. You had Chris Dodd and Barney Frank, going back in 2002, they were already investigating the shell game that they were doing. And these guys, I think, at Fannie and Freddie have a vested interest and vice versa in this government right now. And I think there's a lot of stuff going on that are being paid back within these two organizations. When you give away free money and also promote mortgages to people that shouldn't have gotten them to begin with, these people were led into situations and given these quick mortgages that there's no way they could have paid as soon as it adjusted. And you have guys actually that walked away from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac with, I think, $90 million on a 5-year, $90 million. It's incredible. And this guy is actually going to be part of the new regime with the cap and trade. So this whole shell game that's going on, you want to talk about, you have Acorn to me, which is the biggest voter fraud in the history of this country. And it's going to continue with stuff that goes on behind the scenes with Freddie and Fannie. So us as senators, we have to be ever vigilant to be able to stand in the way and actually, how about a little transparency and actually opening these books to the public and our constituents to see what's going on, and instead of having it hidden from us, sort of like the health care bill passing in the middle of the night. I think that's what they're doing right now with this.
A recent Wall Street Journal op-ed claimed that it is pointless to audit the Fed as it publicly publishes its financial statements on a weekly basis. However, dating back to the 1970s with the passage of the CRA, Fed chairs have been increasingly aligning financial policy to the federal administration's policies. What information would be gained from such an audit, and what impact would this information have on potential policy?
That's why I'm going to have Peter as my financial advisor in Washington when we take this Tennessee, because just for that reason. Look, obviously it's a no-brainer. They need to have an independent audit. This is a must. It's something that I'm sure they're going to scream all the way to the gallows on, because it's just, like you said, it's just something, there's so much involved here, and it's been going on for so long. But The reason we have to do this is because, I mean, if you think for a second, if Bernie Madoff was a politician, he'd be running for re-election. Just think about that for a second, because the Ponzi games that are being played in Washington right now make his stuff look like something that we used to do back in Queens on the streets. And I'm telling you right now, this has to be corrected, or our country will continue to go right down the tubes.
Youth and unskilled unemployment in the USA is at an all-time high of 20%, and in Europe it is a permanent issue leading to adult children being supported by parents. What are the factors leading to this situation, and what would you see as a solution?
I mean, I'm just happy my kids are all working, otherwise I'd be supporting them too. So I got one who's a Marine, so we're okay with that. The military's taking good care of it. You know, look, this country is in a lot of trouble for a lot of reasons, and I don't pretend to have all the answers as far as getting people jobs. The one thing we definitely have to do is find a way, without a stimulus bill and giving away money to everyone and their uncle, is to find a way to get the pride back in the American worker and us as people believing in ourselves again. I think we're actually at a point where we are believing the muck that's being left for us, and we're actually sitting there feeling sorry for ourselves, and we're not dreaming anymore. I honestly believe Americans do best when we dream in red, white, and blue. And, you know, here in 1960, we commit to go to the moon. 9 years later, we land on the moon because we believed in each other and ourselves. So taxing each other to death is definitely not the way to go. You can almost take all the prescription that this administration is doing and reverse it, and you may have the right answer. Attorney General Blumenthal here in Connecticut, which is where we have to be the most interested in, is by making so many regulations that businesses are not walking out of this state. They're fleeing. They're running out. Manufacturing companies are running out of here like crazy. We have to be able to entice companies to go in. Let's make it easier for people to do business again. Let's make it easier for people to live here. And I think if we start believing in ourselves again and lower the taxes, lower expenses of the government, like let's try with a third right off the bat with these unfunded mandates. You got a country that went bankrupt $126 trillion ago. So we better start addressing this issue, but we have to do it with the belief that we as American people can do anything if we put our minds to it, not believe in the negative.